Facebook now.
Okay.
Okay. Hopefully, it's all technology. We're all becoming experts on Zoom. So,
Exactly.
I wish we were. I wish I were more expert than I am. But anyway, so how have you been, Terrence? How are things? How's the market? What are you seeing?
Oh my goodness. Well, we're panicking a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Why are you? I know
things are fine. Things are fine. I'm not trying to find a short pier to take a long walk off of.
That's good.
The market's not doing too well. Rates are starting to climb back up. So, we have people that are looking a little bit more passively that are starting to become a little bit more aggressive pretty quickly because they still want to take advantage of them. But, we have people that are obviously currently in the pipeline that are a little upset that things are going up. And, we just do the best we can to explain why and let people know that obviously rates are not our fault. They're not the lender's fault. They're the market's fault.
Right.
So, we just have to do the best that we can to try to manage it, try to manage expectations and manage panic a little bit. But,
right.
For those that are on the fence about, let's wait till rates go back down. No.
Do you want me to share that slide that you sent over a little earlier?
Yeah.
Let me.
While I'm on the subject, go ahead and share that so I can talk about it. And
that's what I'm thinking. Let's talk about it.
Okay. Since we're on the subject, I might as well start blabbing. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So
is it can you see it? Is it full screen or?
I can see it. This is perfect. So without becoming MSNBC and talking about trends and this, that, and the other, I'm just gonna talk about what I know and how I can read. This is the bond market. This is the 10-year bond market. This is what interest rates are directly tied to. So not the stock market, not the Treasury. People say, oh, the Treasury, they have interest rates at zero. That has nothing to do with interest rates with mortgages. This is where those come from. So every day, just like the stock market, the bond market trades, whether it's positive, negative, or stays pretty flat. This is essentially the last 90 days of what the bond market's been doing. And just to kind of give everybody an idea of how that works, as the bond market goes up, interest rates go down, mortgage interest rates. Generally speaking, these work, inversely of the stock market. So stock market goes up, bond market goes down.
Right.
About a year ago, if you guys recall, we used to be able to go out in public and breathe on people. Now we can't do that anymore. The country shut down.
Right.
So about a year ago, everybody was panicking. Everybody was taking their money out of the market, both stocks and bonds. So both of them were plummeting. So right when that happened, interest rates actually went up a little bit. But as things started to level out, stock market stayed down, bond market started to go back up. So that's when interest rates really started to drop towards last spring, last summer. That's when everybody started to refinance and purchase all at once because things were just going down, down, down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looking at this chart, like I said, this is the last 90 days. What the colors mean, blue is good. Blue means the bond market's going up that day. Yellow is bad. Yellow means the bond market went down that day. So, again, 90 days ago, things were sitting pretty. Things were sitting pretty comfortably. Mm-hmm. We had a string of bad days, and all of a sudden, toward the end of December, we had some good days. Rates went pretty much back to where they were. Mm-hmm. First couple of days of the year, look what happened. Rates climbed. See all those yellows first couple of days of the year?
Let me just jump in. So if the bond market's going down, interest rates are going up, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So, look at the chart, see beginning of the year, which is January 4th down here through about January 11th, mm-hmm. Rates were going up. That's just how that works. They recovered a little bit, to the beginning of February, but then look at February. Look what's been happening. And then last week, it was a dumpster fire.
My
Look at that big yellow drop there.
What do you have any idea what that's about, or who knows?
I mean, it's your guess is as good as mine. It's all speculation, just like the stock market. It's all speculation. An article comes out that says, the left did this or the right did that, and what's they going to do? People are going to, be upset or they'll be happy about it. You remember what happened with GameStop? That was a thing.
Right.
So this was as of Friday. This was the bond market as of Friday. Today's not on here, but today's is actually even worse. So there'd be another yellow bar here around February 22nd, and it'd be pretty low. Today is not doing well.
So
there were a lot of people that we locked in over the weekend because we said, look, we lock you in to protect your rate so it doesn't get any worse. It could get better. It could get worse. And I've had a lot of conversations over the weekend of, Terrence, what's going to happen? And I say, I don't know. I'm not making that call for you. I am not a Wall Street expert. I just look at the way it is. And those people that locked over the weekend are happy that they did. Those that said, let's write it out and see what happens, they're a little upset today.
Yeah. Well, and to that point, I guess if somebody locks in their rate and things should change, can you like release that lock and get them into a lower rate? Should that happen? I mean, it's kind of like they've got everything to gain and nothing to lose by locking. Is that correct, or am I wrong about that?
You're not incorrect, but it all depends on the circumstance. It depends on the timing. Conversation I had with a woman yesterday, she's not closing until April 15th. So I said, you know what? Locking protects it so it doesn't get any worse. Mm-hmm. We have plenty of time to where if the markets recover, by us being brokers, we have the advantage of, which our banks hate that we do this, but if we lock in with one and things improve, mm-hmm. and we have enough time to run the file through an entirely new underwriting process, we'll pull it, take it to another bank because we have a fresh lock.
Okay. So you actually just put a new application with another lender. I mean, it's not as simple as I think.
It's pretty simple because by that point, depending on where we are in the process, I mean, by that point we should have almost everything, and we would just have to update it to the new bank's name, and it doesn't take long at all. But it just depends on where we are in the process.
Right.
We have somebody closing March 15th, but then March 1st through the 7th things start to improve. Mm-hmm. There's not enough time to make that change. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But if you're closing end of March, April, and realistically, we need about solid 2 weeks to make that flip. So it's all about timing. But yes, you're right. You have everything to gain, nothing to lose from locking.
Right. Well, in general, but now let me ask you another question. So comparing apples with apples, because I know that interest rates depend on the product and the down payment and the buyer's, credibility. Yeah. And all that good stuff. But comparing apples with apples, what are the interest rates today versus what they were back here in January, the beginning of January, when things started to tumble?
So good question. Apples to apples, they're up about quarter point, potentially 375 over where they were beginning of the year.
My goodness.
So
because I know that
they've climbed.
People getting mortgages at under 3%, I think.
That's still, again, it's situation dependent, but that's still happening. It's just a matter of
like a 15
what the situation is.
25% down.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
So, right. Single family homes are going to price up better than condos. If you're putting 3% down on a condo, you're over 3%.
Right.
I don't care how good your credit score is, you're over 3%. But that same condo, same person, same credit score, if you put down 20, 25%, we can still get you under 2. Excuse me, under 3.
Under 3. I was going to say under 3. You could into the 2s.
Into the 2s. Into the 2s, under 3.
All right. So as your refi market kind of slowed down, because I know that the lender that I'm hearing, and I work more with sellers than I do with buyers, but the buyer's agent is telling me that the lender needs 45, 60 days to close their loans now. And I don't know why it's taking so long, because I know it was
Mhm. No, I mean, that's lender specific, but our turn times haven't increased at all.
Okay. I mean, so you don't have a backlog of appraisals or something like that because of the volume. I know last summer that was an issue,
No,
right?
it was, and it's, with appraisals, I mean, the appraisers don't work for banks. They're independent. They're independently contracted. So as a whole, appraisers are doing okay. There were I mean, last summer there was just a big rush to refi and things. So there were a lot of backlogs with appraisals. They were just overworked.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm not going to say things have slowed a little bit, but they slowed down after the summer. They're not as busy as they were in the summertime, so they're fine. They've caught back up. They can turn out an appraisal in a week, which is all we need.
Okay. All right. Good. So,
Yeah.
so what you're seeing is more of just kind of a normal market in terms of turnaround and getting the deals done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
good to know. Okay. Good to know. Good
Yeah.
for me to know. Let me talk a little bit about what I'm seeing in the real estate market. Let me share my screens here, and I always like to share my the thing I get from the board. We don't want to see that. We want to see this. Are you seeing the the weekly update? Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I got the right thing then. So this chart goes back 6 months. And I was looking at this earlier and I'm a little confused. Maybe Terrence, you can help me figure it out. But it says 2020 versus 2021. Well, of course, this is 2021. So I'm assuming that this green chart here is 2019 and this is 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's how I interpreted that. But anyway, so the green is the previous year, the blue is the current year. And you can see that we actually were ahead of the previous year. We're kind of running neck and neck, but I think that's because last year, and I've had this conversation with a couple of different clients, we came out of the box the 1st of January, 2020. And it was, I mean, January 3rd, whatever. And we were in spring.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. And I think, so this is actually this would be 2020, the green. And the blue is 20, but actually it looks like we're running ahead of 2020 at this point, which is really interesting. I mean, even though we have 4 feet of snow on the ground and we didn't, and for us, it didn't actually kick in. And I think you can kind of see this. This is properties that have gone under contract. After the inauguration, there was, I think, this whole thing with the election and the stop the steal and all that stuff really put people in a lot of uncertainty. And of course, when people are uncertain, they don't do anything. But I think after the inauguration,
right,
and everything, you can see that there was a big jump here. And activity, and of course, at this point, in 2020, we hadn't locked down yet. So even though we had a brisk spring market in 2020, it looks like we're having an even brisker spring market in 2021. So good for us. So interest rates notwithstanding, and what I find interesting is that when interest rates are going up, that's when everybody gets to panic and says, "Oh my God, I better find something." When interest rates are right, when interest rates are going down, they sit on the fence and they worry about, well, I want to get, and of course you can't ever time the market. I mean, there's just no way to time the market. So
they want it to go lower. It's going to go lower. Let's wait a while. Okay.
Let's wait. Yeah. And that usually ends up backfiring. But these are new listings that have come on the market. You can see in 2020, last year, we were actually ahead of inventory. We don't have enough inventory.
This makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing a lot of. There's just no inventory now.
we're ahead of properties going under contract, but we don't have the inventory. So, and I don't,
everything that goes up just immediately gets sold.
right. And I can't say that I blame sellers. I mean, if you're living in your home, you probably don't want strangers coming into your home right now. I mean, it makes sense. And
Well, that and job uncertainty. People don't know what's going to happen, and by the lack of other inventory, they can't find something to buy.
Right, right.
So people are just trying to just settle in and stay there, which is
yeah, I think that this whole COVID and everything has really. This is just showing numbers of, but this is showing the impact of COVID on the number of showings that we've had. And I show this chart every time we do this, but the dark navy blue is last year, 2020. The gold bar is current this year. And then that gray one is 2019. So last year we were comparing 2019. Well, of course, this is when we locked down here, obviously.
Right.
There were no shows. And then we came roaring back. But then we pretty much have followed the trend line, though we were still ahead of 2019. All year was ahead of 2019. And now it seems like we have kind of a more even with the trend. Well, I'm sure this has to do with our weather and here, but
we had a couple inches of snow.
Right, I know. Although, gosh, I have been crazy. So, and then I wanted to go into my. Wait a minute. I'm trying to figure out the technology here. I wanted to show my insights that I always like to show too. I should have just stayed there. Okay, I got to do this. I got to minimize this, go back to my, there, and now I can make it full screen. Okay, so this is our market sort of analysis, and this is for the whole Chicagoland statistical area. I chose single family, which includes condos and townhouses and freestanding homes, new construction and resale. Oh, let's put it on just resale because I don't. But this shows average sale prices, and this is for the whole Chicagoland area. And this goes back 3 years. I think it's just really pretty stunning. Here was last year when we locked down, things evened out. But as soon as the market opened up again, and we were able to show property, and of course, interest rates have a ton to do with this. And here again was the election, but even over the holidays, it's like the prices, whew. So in June, we were 245 median, and we're 20,000 above that in, what is that, 6 months time? That's pretty amazing. Month supply of inventory, conversely, again, not enough inventory, and we have been in a seller's market. I want to go back. I know I did this last time. I went back the whole like 15 years or something. But you can see we have been in a seller's market for quite some time. And the rule of thumb on this is anytime you have 6 months or less of inventory on the market, months supply of inventory, you are in a seller's market. And if you have more than 6 months, you're in a buyer's market. So we have been in a seller, so we have been in a seller's market literally since July of 13. And now we're starting to see the prices be impacted because of the interest rates and lack of inventory. I want to do the compare apples with apples here with the sales prices. But so, well, actually this data bears that up because the prices started to, from July of 13, prices started gradually increasing and sellers came back into the market. So, and then the last chart I wanted to show here was the market times and how market times are, they've kind of plateaued out, but they're coming down too. There's one thing I did want to just compare, Lincoln Square, which is my neighborhood, I want to pull up this data for Lincoln Square and show you, because we can make the, you know, this was for the whole Chicagoland area, but we can do the same research for each specific neighborhood. And Lincoln Square market times right now are running about 64 days, 62 sales prices. This is all property. So it's showing kind of a lot of up and down here, but you can see that there's been an increase month supply of inventory. I'm sure this is going to show that it's a seller's market, and indeed it is. Although, yeah, but what I wanted to show was compare that with the downtown market. This is River North neighborhood, and you can see, let me just go back a year here, or 3 years. You can see what's happened with the supply of inventory. I mean, here we are, we locked down in March of 20, 7 months supply of inventory. So it was already starting to creep up. Well, there's all that new construction downtown, all those new condos that they're building. And, you know, they were justified to do it because there wasn't enough inventory, but boom, they finally met threshold. Then we locked down. Right now, the River North area has 10 months, so it is a buyer's market in River North. That's, and well, the prices have continued to rise, but they've taken a dip here since December. So it's kind of so anyway, the point being, I guess, is that these markets are very localized. We would need to research each little pocket to see what area, but there are still opportunities for investors out there. I think that's kind of my takeaway. There's definitely. Right. I mean, it's so even though Lincoln Square is a seller's market, River North, which is certainly what I'd call a Class A product, in generally speaking, Class A location, there are still opportunities to be had out there. So, so that's it. Anything else you think we should talk about, Terrence? Do you think we've covered it for this month, or we'll be back?
I think we have it. I mean, you know, I got to, you know, definitely want to reiterate to the people that are on the fence, it's time. Yeah, you know, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, we are definitely in spring market. We need more inventory. We need sellers. It's time for buyers to get off the fence, and it's a tough market for a buyer right now out there. It is definitely a tough market. I know that many buyers are getting into multiple situations, and
oh yes, some are getting frustrated too.
Right. Yeah, getting very frustrated, but just stick with it. And of course, if you should get yourself pre-approved for a loan. By all means, reach out to Terrence. It's what he does to put your best foot forward into negotiating. You need to have that pre-approval in hand to make your offer. And what else did there was something else I wanted to talk about just quickly. Next Monday, I'm going to, I haven't actually set this up with her, but I've been in touch with a property manager that I work with. And she and I are going to just talk a little bit, because I've had some of my investors asking me about the whole thing with COVID and evictions, the moratorium on evictions, and how that's impacting rentals and that market. So I wanted to cover that with Catherine next Monday. Next Monday, believe it or not, is March 1st. The official what do they call that? In the weather, it's the official start of spring, meteorological
spring.
Yeah, I'm believing it. Yep. Although it is amazing. I came home yesterday. I was out on appointments yesterday, and I was on the road about 5:30, and it was actually still light out. I'm like, woohoo! It's still light out.
Yeah. I am. You know, as long as the snow melts, I'll be okay.
Well, it actually is right about freezing, I think, today, and it's supposed to get up into the 40s, so I think some of this will be gone. But man, getting down those side streets, trying to show property, and of course, people in their dibs, which drives me crazy. That conversation. When I was on
Yeah.
Saturday showing property, I actually parked down the main street and walked in because I had an experience where had nothing to do with dibs. I was just in a rough neighborhood showing an investment property, and I was gone for 15 minutes and came out and had my car keyed. So now
Oh no.
I know. So now I'm careful about where I park, and but because of,
Definitely.
and I'm afraid to move somebody's dibs, so I parked a block.
Oh, don't do that. Never move dibs.
Yeah, don't remove dibs. But I mean, come on, dibs is your civic duty. It's what you do to get your car out so you can get around. And people like me, anyway, never mind. We're not going to have that conversation. All right. Well, good. Well, stay warm, stay dry. By all means, if you have any questions, reach out to Terrence or myself. We'd love to help you with your pre-approval,
Sure.
to find property or to sell your property. We're here to help, and we look forward to seeing you next month and let you know what's going on next month. So join us
Sure
then.
do.
Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.